And we are live. Good morning, crypto warriors, and welcome back to the Gentlemen of Crypto episode 218. Today is Wednesday, August 1st, and I am King. And of course, Bitcoin's A has been out last week or so I'll be holding it down. And let's go ahead and jump into the winner for these free Satoshis. We actually have two winners today. I think it was last week or the prior week. We forgot to do one or something. So this makes up for that. But it was a lot of good, thoughtful answers. So appreciate all the comments. Again, all the answers went in good detail. But the two that I had to give it to was Leroy Forbes, Leroy Forbes 13, who said he's a gamer himself. He was talking about how the gaming industry, the question was, what would be the next industry to readily and, wholesomely accept Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and how would it help or affect it? And he was saying he's a gamer himself. The gaming industry will be a great addition to the line of crypto accepting businesses. He made a point that, the gamer community already has a high interest in all things technology, which we all know is very true, with E3 and all that. Of course, there has been a drastic rise in the mainstream interest in gaming, both playing and spectating over the past few years. He's talking about those esports and popularity of Twitch, all things you can use crypto for. And then he also kind of added on that, we talk about subscriptions, streaming, professional tournaments. You'll be looking at some next level crypto adoption. And he also said, let's not forget the industry includes, at some next level, the industry includes console, PC, and mobile gaming. So you're looking at having two of the youngest generations on lock, one of which currently holds the most buying power of all living generations with regard to crypto becoming normalized. So I thought that was a really good answer. And the second person was Surfing AB16, who said they think they're the next big business or industry they would like to see accept crypto would be gas stations or Jiffy stores. Another good one. They even went in detail and said, hey, you can use Monero at these places to buy your beer, condoms, or naughty magazines or whatever, or you can use regular Bitcoin, Ethereum to buy food, gas, candy, and car washes. And then one of the best parts of his answer toward the end, or his or her, Surfer, I'm not sure what you are, said not to mention there would never be any minimum $5 purchases, for those debit or credit card machines. There won't be any more of those signs because you could just do everything crypto based. So I think that's actually a really good idea. If you go to BP, Exxon, Kangaroo, like you said, you're talking about buying gas, candy, cigarettes, munchy foods, just all on the go. Yeah, there's no reason not to have a point of sale system of crypto there. So Surfing AB16 and Leroy Forbes 13, thanks for those comments. Really in depth. We appreciate it. We'll be sure to see that crypto. Those Satoshis. Good morning, Ghosts. Blockchain Shuja, what's going on? The game I peep. D True 7695. Kevin Hodges. Good morning, good morning. Ghost said, if you send us apparel, we wear it. For sure. Let's throw some mediums around over there. Tonio, good morning, good morning. All right, let's hop into it. Not a lot of news. Actually, before we jump to the news, some of the top stories out there, some people cover it, some didn't. But of course, they're calling it a cryptocurrency and a Bitcoin bloodbath today, as Bitcoin shed all of 7%. Lost today. For those who've been in the community, we know this is normal. Losing 7% on Wall Street drives them crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I love it when I see Bitcoin drop 5 or 7% because it does make those Wall Street hoodlums go crazy. It does make mainstream news people go crazy because they don't understand it. They think it's like, this is such a big drop. It's so volatile. This is normal. We literally just pumped up almost $1,500 in the last week maybe. So 7% correction is normal, and it's healthy and it's good to see. And now we'll just start the consolidation period and rebuild again and reach the next support level. So it's nothing, no new news there. But of course, like I said, the mainstream is not used to seeing this. They aren't comfortable with it, which is good. In the crypto community, we want them to be uncomfortable. They think they have all the answers, but the 7% drop, as they say, isn't a drop. It's a healthy correction. And it's a good thing because that means, like I said, we're about to hit another consolidation period. We're going to find another support level. And this year is going to keep on pushing up. What's going on, Money Love? So kind of the same narrative this week and last week coming out. I said the news stories were going to slow down because the price is pumping, which we saw. So because of that, a bunch of random stuff today, but we're going to make, it's going to be good still. Crypto data site CoinMarketCap launches more robust API. You asked and they delivered. Looks like CoinMarketCap, one of the most popular crypto data tracking websites, announced a new pro level and fee-based API on Wednesday. Of course, they already have the API, so you can kind of get an aggregate of volume on different exchanges and coins being listed, price, all that good stuff. But now this new one looks like it's going to add additional endpoints, more calls, and higher rate limits, exchange and market historical data for the commercial tiers. It looks like this, they've got a lot of requests for it, and they said this new API is now available at 3 off-the-shelf tiers with costs ranging from $80, $79 to $6.99. They said once subscribed, developers and funds will have the ability to utilize CoinMarketCap's data that it aggregates from hundreds of crypto exchanges. So it looks like they're just aggregating even more data. Again, rolling out more APIs, and they're gonna have those 3 cost tiers, which is $79, somewhere in the middle, and then $6.99. So again, as we always say, from a business standpoint, definitely get it. They're doing a valuable service. There aren't too many other ones. I forgot. There's another actually semi-popular one that's been floating on the radar that I used to use all the time. Their only problem was if you try to load too many coins at once, it kind of freezes up on you. But there's only like maybe 2 or 3 popular sites like CoinMarketCap out there. So it's definitely time for them to monetize it. Makes sense. And I feel like as long as they're offering a good service, then why not? I will say with a lot of stuff on CoinMarketCap, you don't need to do a lot of the in-depth, you don't need to buy these in-depth tier packages if you're actually in the community, if you're, reading all the time on Telegram, on, different Slack channels or wherever you have it, Bitcoin Forum, Bitcoin Talks. If you're actually in the community, you don't need CoinMarketCap as much because you kind of get a general idea of, what market's moving what and volume and all that. But yeah, definitely, if you're just the possibly casual trader, you don't have time to keep up with news, or you just want to see it all in a pretty picture right there in front of you, hopefully CoinMarketCap can deliver on that and those APIs will work. I haven't seen it yet, but we might need to go ahead and buy one of the packages and test it out just to see how it works out. So that should be pretty cool. We'll see what happens. Oh, you all know I love this story. UK member of parliament resigns as blockchain startup advisor. Look at that face. That face looks like someone you can trust, doesn't it? Looks like he just got caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and this guy did. Looks like a UK member of parliament has resigned from the advisory board of a cryptocurrency project after it was revealed that he was secretly getting paid for his services, the Financial Times reported Wednesday. All right, people, anyone you see advising for a crypto project, I won't say anyone, but more than likely, especially this day and time, I mean, early on, not so much. I was even all the way to 2016, not so much still. People would just advise because, hey, it was kind of like, this is a checkbox in my resume and then help out where I can with you. They may do a complimentary, but at this point, almost all advisor roles is some type of, somebody's getting paid, all right? So that, to me, the fact that no one realized he was getting paid is kind of a red flag, which I don't truly believe. But it looks like conservative member of parliament Grant Shapps resigned from OpenBricks and stood down as co-chair of a parliamentary blockchain group he co-founded, which is crazy. He has a blockchain group and he's in parliament, and he had a company he's working with. After the Financial Times Alphaville discovered a secret deal between the MP and the blockchain company, while Shapps, I think his name is Shapps, claimed in public filings that he was not being paid for his work, it appeared that OpenBricks was to pay him in crypto tokens. Again, this is the same parliament who have plans to join the J5, this crazy tax haven that basically the United States government, Canada, New Zealand, and I think the UK, basically all the spy agencies are working together with the tax agencies to figure out who's using crypto in these top Western European and Western countries. But they literally are doing this and don't even realize people are getting paid in crypto. Again, they don't even know what they're doing, yet they're making rulings and regulations on it. But so yeah, I guess no one thought he was getting paid in crypto because he didn't, of course, report on his filings. But OpenBricks is a blockchain-based property platform which provides a quote-unquote decentralized system for real estate owners and participants to trade properties. It launched its ICO in December, or is set to launch ICO in December, excuse me. And it looks like Shaps was getting paid close to about 2.8 million pounds or $3.7 million. That is a lot of money not to report, especially when you have the authority to shape the regulations, to shape rulings, again, on new alphabet agencies like the J5, who already said their primary job is to unite with all the tax agencies across the Western Europe and the United States and North America, and to find people who are trying to hide their money through crypto. The people who are making the regulations are actually the ones who are the criminals. You don't say. I mean, again, we've talked about this since day one, that, you know, our governments, not just the United States, but a few other ones, they are literally lying to us to our face. And this is, again, what we hope blockchain technology and cryptocurrency in general can circumvent, where we don't need them as much. We don't need them now, but to truly enable people to see we don't need these people, and they are corrupt criminals. You know, this is a regulator. He's a member of parliament. And again, he is hiding money and, you know, making these backdoor deals, you know, corrupt. It makes no sense. But I don't know. Whenever I see stories like this, I swear it makes my teeth whiter. I love to see it. And somebody else was caught in the act, but I'm sure he won't face any penalties for hiding money from the government or, you know, working at companies, in blockchain and cryptocurrency companies as advisors, as he actually shapes regulations and rules. I'm sure there is no conflict of interest there, and he's doing the right thing. Of course, you know I am being facetious. So, interesting story. But on the heels of what's legal and what isn't, Dubai looks to disrupt its entire legal system with Court of Blockchain. The Dubai court system, tasked to oversee all civil and commercial disputes involving financial transactions both domestically and internationally, is turning to blockchain technology to, quote unquote, create the world's first disruptive court. They basically said they're going to do this world's first court of blockchain in a partnership with the government's Smart Dubai initiative that says it will fundamentally reshape the judicial process in the future. When I read on this article and when I kind of did my due diligence, it looked like a lot of words soup and some lofty goals. Here you can see the DIFC Court's Chief Executive and Registrar Amna Al-Awais stated, by harnessing blockchain technology, Dubai will be firmly positioned at the forefront of legal tech and judicial innovation, setting the standards for countries and judiciaries to follow. Again, a lot of word soup. They're not really saying what they plan to do. From what I understand of it, they just want to put all court proceedings basically on the blockchain, which isn't really leveraging blockchain technology, because most, if not all, court proceedings, or most, I would say, not all, they're public. You know, they're public information. You can research them, find out the information you need, especially for FOIA requests and all that stuff. So to me, it's just like them having their own centralized database and saying we're going to put you know, a government-sponsored centralized database, and we're going to put all the court proceedings on there. You know, again, it's kind of weird because this is something we talked about last year. I think earlier this year we were talking about will these blockchains operate. Like, they're still human who have to insert whatever they want to put in there. So if it's a court proceeding, there's still somebody that has to put this stuff on the blockchain, which is a point of failure there, because all it takes is for one person to say, well, we're going to enter this information in wrong. Or, you know, even let's say everything works out right. I'm just not seeing the need for this right now, because if you're a person who did want to see something about a court or a case or a proceeding, I mean, usually it'll be local, state, you know, news or authority or whoever in that locality or state who want to see it. And it's not that hard to just go to the courthouse or go, you know, to the state building or whatever and get that information. But I guess in the effort to save paper, it does make sense. And you know, cross communication between countries, if they want to see how the proceedings are working, again, it can make sense then, but it still has that centralized point of failure, which is a person entering this information. So interesting. I would like to see how it works, because I think there are ways to, you know, implement blockchain tech into our legal system for sure. There's definitely ways to implement it into our financial system. When you're talking about taxpayers' money, you know, there's a way right now where we were paying all our taxes and we were doing everything in Bitcoin or giving it to our governments. we could see exactly where they're spending that money, how much money they're taking out, which address they're sending to. So there are ways to track it, and I look forward to those ways. But this quarter blockchain, it looks interesting. I can't see how it shapes out. S1 Dub said a non-use case. Right. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it right now, but hey, you know, hopefully something comes to fruition. So this story actually came out yesterday, but I ignored it because didn't really care. But the news, so slow today, I'm going to give Ripple a shout out. New Ripple-based decentralized exchange launches in San Francisco. A new Ripple-based decentralized, and again, decentralized people, who knows, you know, we got to do some testing to figure that out, but they're saying it's a new Ripple decentralized crypto marketplace. DCEX has now opened registration for retail and institutional accounts, according to a press release published July 30th. The new San Francisco-based platform runs on technology developed by blockchain from Alpha Point and will initially offer 15 crypto-to-crypto trading pairs, all against Ripple as a bank's currency. This includes Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, IOTA, and Zcash. It looks like they're going to actually include those assets in the Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index, which tracks the top 10 most liquid crypto assets and presents itself as an institutional benchmark for the crypto market. Basically a new way to charge institutional investors to come into our crypto market. So that's pretty funny. But, you know, here it says they already registered with FinCEN, SEC, and all this good stuff. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. This may be big news for Ripple. You know, if people start using this decentralized exchange, if it truly is decentralized, if it works, if it has liquidity, then yeah, I mean, if it does work, you can see Ripple get a big boost from this. If that's being the primary trading pair on a decentralized exchange, that works. Of course, the key word is works. Then I actually can see people going toward it because we don't have one that is really up and running right now on 110, you know, at 110%. So it's an open market. First one there, first one who gets it working, you know, first one everybody likes, has liquidity, good user experience, it could work. So it would be very interesting if that did work. You know, it would literally be a different conversation in cryptocurrency because people would be trying to stack more Ripple to take over to this exchange to do trades. So pretty interesting. Yes, Dan the man, you are right. I didn't say this, but you're right. Bill Clinton is speaking at a Ripple event this year as well. I think it's their conference, the one they did last year. Can't think of the name off the top of my head. It was Swift and Swell or something. But yeah, you know, I think last year they tapped was it Greenberg or something, Greenspan, the ex-Fed chair, and this year they're tapping Bill Clinton. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But, you know, Bill Clinton and the Ripple crowd, I think it's actually a good mix, and hopefully we'll get some hashtags out of it. I don't see how we can't. Last but not least, you know, and shout out to Ramo. You know, he tweeted this story today, and you're the reason why I'm covering this, Ramo. But SEC approved Bitcoin ETF possible in 18 months. Crescent Crypto CEO. So basically, this CEO for, you know, he's one of 3 co-founders of an asset management firm called Crescent Crypto, said that he believes a Bitcoin ETF could be in the next 18 months, said Ali Hassan. To me, this is a non-story. And the reason why is because anybody moving money, like, you know, a good amount of money in crypto knows this already. And this is speculation. Now, the 18-month thing, I always say I agree with them only because it's like, no duh. Like, eventually, this is probably going to have to happen. We've been on the brink of this happening already. You know, the first main decision came out last year in March for the Winklevoss twins. So we're literally a year and a half already into it. So to add an additional year and a half, I mean, come on, that's a great guess. That's like me saying, I guarantee you all, you know, it's very strongly possible a financial crisis is going to happen in the next 10 or 15 years. It's like, well, King, we haven't had one in 10 years already. I mean, yeah, it's probably going to be another one in the next 10 or 15 years. Like, that's realistically can happen. So for him to come out and say, hey, it's very possible we see this next 18 months, it's almost like a no duh. Like, it's okay, you're not telling me anything new. But hey, it is good for the mainstream because they can say, you know, this is a bullish indicator, this is positive and all that. But again, the ETF door has been getting beat down already. And he's right. He was quoted as saying, perhaps the next 18 months, we'll see a Bitcoin-only ETF. Again, of course, it's kind of like with the futures market. They rolled out a Bitcoin futures first. They didn't roll out just a futures for all altcoins out there. So again, it's not saying anything new. This is going to be the narrative with everything. Whenever all these products roll out, there will be a Bitcoin product first. If not Bitcoin, I could possibly see an Ethereum, or depending on the marketing, even a Bcash one. But that doesn't really surprise me. But again, it's good to see that they're having these conversations. They're putting that out there. But it's something that you should already expect. Next year and a half, I mean, he could have really narrowed that down to the next 6 months, depending on price action, and still hit that market. It's very possible to see the next 6 months. So we'll see. But, again, it's pretty good to see. Alpha Robinson said, I'm not into ICOs, but it's one that I'm looking into called Monarch. Each coin will be backed by 1 ounce of Scottsdale silver. I've been collecting their silver before I was into crypto. That would be pretty cool. But again, it's one of those things. We talked about this when a few companies last year tried to do the gold back cryptocurrencies and the ICOs for it. And then, of course, that story came out in Canada where one of their government issued minted gold, I might be saying it wrong, turned out to be counterfeit. It was fake. It's fraudulent. It wasn't real. It was flimsy, flip-flop, whatever they sell on Wolf of Wall Street. It was fairy dust. All right. It wasn't real. But and that whole thing sparked the thing. Well, if you're going to put gold on the blockchain, do ICO for it, and crypto for it and everything, how do we even know the gold you say A, you actually have, and B, is real? So I see that being the same thing kind of with this. It's like, all right, how do we know exactly you have this silver and it's real? But again, it's a good idea if it does work, because it's one of those things where you don't need to carry the physical silver. This is a way to exchange its value. Milto said, we'll get an ETF this year, no later than first quarter of 2019. Exactly. I'm with you, Milto. I see the same thing. Depending on price action this year, when it busts through that 20K mark again, that's when that ETF will come back around, because it'll be 2 times it happened in 12 months, and there will be no denying it. All right. And when it blows through it, people are really going to, I think this next time, people are going to say, you know what? We're trying to play by the government rules. We've been listening to the gentlemen of crypto all year, and they're pointing out people like the UK member of parliament. They're pointing out SEC commissioners and CFTC regulators who literally don't know what they're talking about, who are stealing and making up laws and rules on Tuesday and Wednesday nights to stifle competition for the big, wealthy institutional investors who are coming to the party late, or some of the newfound companies out there like Coinbase who are using the government basically as their henchmen to stifle competition in the sector, which again, I understand from a business perspective. But I think, yeah, the next time it blows past 20K, people are saying, we're not waiting for ETF. We're not waiting for what you say, government. I'm going to invest in these ICOs because they have the ability to take myself and my family out of our situation to another situation. And if this works out and we make that much money, we'll just leave the United States until you all figure it out. I think that'll be the next move once we blow past 20K. And that's when they'll finally say, all right, we have to release an ETF product or we're going to lose money, because people aren't going to sit around and wait for us to tell them it's okay to make money when it's already been okay to make money. And we just started making these unlawful rules, again, to stifle competition and growth. So I think we'll see one this year as well. Again, no later than first quarter 2019, but remains to be seen. Alrighty, and for the free Bitcoin, let's see. Here's a decent one, and if it's something you're working on, please don't say it. But we talk about Dubai and trying to disrupt its entire legal system with the quarter blockchain. Let us know what country, what can a country come up with? It could be any country you can think of, and how they can implement blockchain technology to change or disrupt this entire industry, whatever. So again, for me, I like to use the United States. I think if we want to disrupt the corruption that's going on in our political system, especially when it comes to taxpayer money and all this and us bailing out banks, I think we put our financial system, as far as especially given tax money and how they're spending that, if we put that on the blockchain, I think it will get rid of corruption. I truly do, because we will be able to see things. And even if the government did say, you know what, we're going to bail out these bankers, and majority of the population saying, no, we're not, then there's a way, just like they freeze accounts on the blockchain, like the DAO and some of this other stuff that happened, and they fork it off. We as citizens can do that with our government. When they say, hey, you know what? We're going to spend however billions of your dollars to bail out these banks that you all don't like or care about anyway, and who steal from you on a daily basis anyway. And we know where they're going to give these money. We give them to their own executives as bonuses. We could freeze those accounts for the government and say, no, you're not. We're not allowing that to happen. Good luck to the bankers, whatever. You guys have made a lot of money already. And no, you're going to fail. So that's what I would like to see for the United States. So something similar. Tell me what country you're thinking of and how they can use blockchain technology to disrupt the system. S1 Dubs, last question, said, how can we grow the market without the institutional investors? To continue doing what we're doing now. We might not have institutional investors now, but new products keep rolling out where they're not going to have a choice but to use the technology. I mean, you talk about banking right now and the fact that you can send as much money as you want to another country in seconds and minutes for a very low percentage fee. The only reason that hasn't grown mainstream yet is because people don't know about it, and the people who do know about it, a lot of them don't know how to use it. So I believe once more people know about it and once more people start to use it, things like that are going to naturally change investors, whether they're retail or institutional. They're going to say, this just works better. The user experience is easier once we get it to that point, and it's naturally going to happen. So the market's going to naturally grow. Institutional investors are going to naturally come. I think it's important that we make sure they come on our terms, not on their terms, because if they come on their terms, we're going to see the same market we have now, just in the crypto market. You're going to be in the same position you are in life as you were before if they come over on their terms. If we can do it our way, it'll be a little bit different. So we'll see what happens. All right, other than that, people, that was a show for the day. Happy hump day. Today is Wednesday, and I will see you all back here at 10-ish live tomorrow in the morning. Cheers.